John and Linetia show.
So,
any news in the past month or so? Any tragic, horrible, disgusting news? You think?
I really don't want to talk about this, but I guess we should say something about
we
what
need to
happened
acknowledge
with Sandy Hook Elementary School.
Not to mention other things like there was that other place in New York where you had the firefighters that were shot.
It was just so sad. The guy started the fire.
Right.
And then he called the firefighters to come put it out.
Basically,
and when they got there, he started shooting at them. And 2 firefighters died because of that.
So, but of course, in the end, though, even though they're firefighters, we're adults. And it's not as tragic when it's adults. When it's kids, it's tragic. But when it's adults, it's not tragic. I'm saying that ironically, okay? Because you got what happened at Sandy Hook, and you've got all those kids, that are dead. And we're here in Chicago. And in the course of a year, where we can have kids killed in the crossfire of gangs and stuff like that. On the bus, whatever. And you think about that, nationwide. That one at a time thing. It's like, oh, it's a horrible thing. But then all of a sudden, this one event where some crazy kid with an assault rifle, walks into school and starts blowing away, kids under 6. Okay, it's all of a sudden it's a big deal and people pay attention. Okay, now it is a big deal, but I'm going to turn that around and go, I think it's been a big deal every day when people are dying from, needlessly you could say, from gun violence, okay? And you know what? The NRA can go suck on an egg, okay? Because think about, other ways, think about ways people are killed or murdered, okay? You've got health, okay? So people are, they're, I have a heart attack, or, things like that, cancer and all that. Okay, so you've got that. You've got medical conditions, okay? And then what do you have? Well, you have automobile or transportation crashes, right, or mishaps like that, right? Somebody walks in the street, and then you got drugs and drug overdose, okay? And then you've got guns. You don't hear of too many, rash of machete killings.
No.
Okay, people are stabbed to death. Okay, those would be the domestic squabbles or just plain old fights. You even had, in Chicago a few years ago. The big thing now is the David Koshman thing, where a guy basically punched a guy in the face. He fell down, hit his head, died. Okay, but let's rank them all. The types of way that people are, killed. Let's say non-medical. Okay, let's rank them all. Okay, number 1 is by what? By somebody firing a gun at them. Okay?
Yeah.
And you could see, drug abuse is up there. Drugs are illegal, right? Illegal narcotics.
That's
okay? Yeah. You can go, the NRA and all the, you can stab somebody. You know what? There aren't too many, knifings is not up there in the top 10. Okay? Now, automobile accidents, okay? And usually it's accidents. You don't have although it happens occasionally, you don't have too many people who are running people down. Okay? It does happen, but overall we're going to say it's accidents. So what do we do in order to try to prevent automobile accidents? Well, we try to make the cars safer inside. Okay? So we've got seat belts and we've got airbags and we've got safety features, okay? But also, in order to operate this dangerous machine, okay, you must be licensed. It is what we call a privilege. It is not a right to have a driver's license. You must take a test. You must register with the government, okay? Then when you purchase an automobile, you must license that vehicle. It is then being tracked, okay, so that you must report that it has been stolen. If it is stolen, then we can, then the police can look out for it, That way also, if the vehicle is involved in any kind of a crime, they can trace it back to whomever. through license plates or the VIN number. Okay, so it's licensed. It is registered with the government several different ways. The car and the VIN, the license plates. You got your driver's license. Pretty much this big old dangerous vehicle is registered and you could say controlled by the government. Meantime, a friggin' gun. You should have a FOIA card, a firearms
official registration.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got that. Okay, you buy a gun. There is, it is insane to think of this. Okay, that a car is more tightly controlled registration-wise in a database for the government than a weapon, than a military weapon. Forget about like assault weapons, military style. Literally a military weapon. A weapon that was created for the U.S. Army, okay, to be used against non-U.S. enemies, okay? Apparently, anybody can buy one in the country, and you could buy ammunition, okay? And as we've seen recently, it's being used against innocent U.S. civilians. Yet, these guns are not being tracked as tenaciously as automobiles.
That's true.
Not to mention the fact that think about this. Think about military weapons created for the military. Can you go out and buy yellow cake uranium? No. You cannot. Okay, now granted, that's not military. Okay. Can you go out and buy a working tank?
No.
Can I buy an ICBM? Can I buy a missile?
You buy a drone.
Can I buy a drone? No. These are military things, okay? First of all, things like military vehicles are not street legal anyway. So even if I somehow bought a surplus tank, okay, first of all those surplus tanks and stuff like that, they pretty much make it so you can't fire anything, okay, or cannons and things like that. They kind of make it so you can't fire. Okay, so wait a minute, I can't even buy a working tank in which I can fire shells, okay? But even if I wanted to, I couldn't use it on the streets. Meantime, people can buy. I want to buy an assault rifle that our men in the army are using in Afghanistan, and I want to bring it home. It's crazy.
My question for you is, do you think that any laws that I put into place will help?
I think so. I think it all depends on what you're talking about help. Because there's going to be no cure-all, okay? First of all, anybody who is a gun enthusiast, you might say gun nut, you might say NRA member, whatever you want to call it, okay? You like your guns. If you have this following opinion, if you believe the government is trying to take away your guns, if you believe President Obama wants to take away your guns, okay, you're an idiot, okay, complete moron, okay. We have history to show that will never happen. That whole take away crap, okay, it's called prohibition. What happened when they took away alcohol? Oh, big problem. Lots and lots of crime, lots and lots of bootlegging. Okay, you're not going to take away guns. The genie's out of the bottle. But here's the thing. Second Amendment says the right to bear arms. Second Amendment does not say you have the right to bear high-quality killing machine military arms.
Assault-type weapons.
Yeah, the Second Amendment does not say what kind of arms, okay? Handguns, okay. A rifle, okay. A traditional rifle, hunting, hunting guns. Assault rifles are not hunting guns, okay. A shotgun, okay, fine. But when you get into this military issue stuff, you're getting into areas that I'm stunned. This never should happen, okay. No military gun. Nobody is buying, an F-15. Okay, you don't see rich people that are buying, these attack airplanes and flying them around, on strafing runs and crap like that. Okay, because you can't, you cannot. The military will not allow you to. Okay, so that's the thing. The other thing is, You regulate guns like you regulate automobiles. That's it. Okay? So you have protection. One of the big issues with the gang issue right now with guns is guns basically that are involved in gang shootings are purchased legally. They're usually purchased legally by a straw purchaser, somebody who buys the gun and then sells it, probably for a profit, maybe double, to a gang member. Okay? There's a loophole. Okay? If I buy a car and I sell it to somebody, I must sign over the title to the car. They must register the car with the state of Illinois within 30 days. If I buy a gun and sell it to somebody, I can pretty much turn around and go, oh, it got stolen. Somebody stole it from me. Okay? Now, if I do that with the car and the car is involved in a crime, they look at the VIN number and they're like, hey, wait a minute, this car was connected to John. Okay? They do that with the guns now. Okay? But we need laws that go, you know what? 17 guns have been involved in crimes, have been traced back to this one guy. Okay? The guy's a straw purchaser. Okay? You basically put in some kind of a law that says, after you have a certain amount of guns stolen from you, you can't buy guns. Okay? But quite honestly, start the regulation, two things. One, regulate guns like you regulate automobiles, okay? And two, seriously, military weapons, no military weapons should be able to be purchased in working order by a civilian. None.
I just want to say, that when all this stuff happened, anytime we see some type of tragedy of any type, it's like when the guy opened fire at the movie theater earlier this year. It's always sad to hear when these kind of things happen. Doesn't matter if the person is 60, 50, or 6 years old. It's just really, really sad.
Yeah.
This dude went to the school and killed these 6 and 7-year-old kids. Killed a couple of teachers, and he killed his mother. He killed your mother. Yeah.
He had mental issues.
Sad situation, right. And I'm sure everybody was just touched by this tragedy, and like you said earlier, it seemed like it touches us more when it's happening to a little baby, compared to an adult.
Well, there's more of an outrage.
But it should be an outrage regardless.
There should always be outrage.
An outrage. So I don't really understand why these things continue to happen. I'm trying hard to understand why a person feels like, well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to commit suicide and I'm going to take some people along with me. No. If you want to commit suicide, I don't agree with any of this, but if you want to commit suicide, you take yourself. Don't go in there and try to take these other people with you. I say that not only do we need to have more stringent gun laws, but all of us as a society or as humanity need to take a look inside of ourselves. And we need to start looking at ourselves in high regard. Because I think if you respect yourself, you will respect other people. And we need to really look deep into this and find out where's our love, where's the passion, where's our compassion for each other. And that, along with gun laws, I think will help, the situation. But we need to have some type of change on the inside of all of us, and maybe something needs to go to Washington, regarding that, and that would help the situation. Because I still don't feel that just because you put these laws into place, I don't think that it's going to completely take care of the situation.
Well, no, it never does. The laws are there mostly, it's this is how we need to work in society. Here are these laws. Don't break them, and everything will be fine. And that it's for the good of society and all that. And you're always going to get people who aren't going to want to use it, but follow them. But really, most people already do anyway. That's the thing. It's like we have to have these laws for the few idiots who pretty much aren't going to be civil. Think about this. One guy, completely failed at igniting a bomb in his shoe in an airplane.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And
right.
what happened? Immediately, and for how many years now, when we go to an airport, we all have to take our damn shoes off. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? One guy takes an assault weapon and blows away dozens of kids. Nothing happens immediately. This is amazing, okay? Nobody died in the shoe bomber thing.
I think that people, first of all, are trying to get through it. People are still mourning for this situation. You know, it's hard.
Well, how long are we going to mourn? I mean, yeah, I get that, but you know what? Mourning is not an excuse for inaction, okay? And we know ultimately, nothing's going to happen. Politicians.
I don't believe that. I think something's going to happen. Eventually, something's going to happen.
You know,
it's going to happen. I mean, change does happen. It happens slow, but it happens. But it's going to happen because we won't. This just can't continue.
In the meantime,
every couple of months, there's something happening to someone, and it's just crazy and sad and ridiculous. And the other part of this is, and I know this has been something that they've been working on for years. Is we need to figure out. If you see something not going completely right with a person, you need to try to help that person out. You know what I mean? Because they said this dude, they noticed some things about him when he was younger, but there was no action.
Well, he was being schooled from home by his mom because basically he had some mental issues.
Right.
And you know what? That's another problem, especially in the state of Illinois, that cuts mental health funding. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. And that's just it. You close all these mental health hospitals, and where are the people going to go? Well, if they're not going to jail, they're going on the streets.
Mm-hmm. But his mom never had him
committed or anything like that.
Yeah, never had.
She was trying to handle it, but you know what? If there aren't any programs to help her out, what are you going to do? I don't know. I mean, and let's also back up and realize. All of this is mom's fault anyway. Uh-oh. She had what is it, like 3 weapons or something like that, okay? Not locked away, okay, that he got a hold of. They were her weapons, okay?
Where did she get them from?
She bought them legally. Okay?
Why did she have them? Those type of weapons?
She was a gun enthusiast, okay?
Oh, boy.
She had the weapons. He apparently had purchased, the ammunition, okay? But here's the other thing. A responsible gun owner, if you've got a freaking assault weapon, wouldn't a responsible gun owner basically have it under lock and key?
Yeah, but she probably just said, oh, it's my son. It's okay.
Well, of course. Yeah, of course. And there you go. And she got what she deserves in here. I'm sorry.
Don't say that
they
about
were
people.
her
That's
weapons.
Terrible.
They were her weapons.
Don't say that. That's terrible.
She is almost as much as his fault as he is.
No one deserves that. No one.
All right.
We'd like to hear your opinions on this situation. You can always post your opinions on our Facebook page about gun control, and if there's anything you think that can be done in these situations. And thanks for listening to the John and Nisha Show.